This movement is not about Republican or Democrat. This movement is not about conservative or liberal. And I think you're going to see that on display in a little bit, just maybe. This movement is about the citizens versus the oligarchs. This movement is about we the people versus the ruling class. This movement is about America versus the globalists. This movement is about all of us against them. And they know something is coming in November. You could see it. They're terrified because they've lost control. They've lost control of the narrative. They've lost control of the narrative.
It was at that very moment someone somewhere picked up a phone and said, "We have a problem." President Trump went on to regain the White House. A tremendous victory. Charlie Kirk was elated. Everyone was. A year after this speech was given, Charlie's gone, and it feels like someone regained control of the narrative. And it isn't us.
How did these guys not know this was taking place?
So I've been to Israel many times. The whole country's a fortress. When I first heard this story, I still had the same gut instinct that I did initially. I find this very hard to believe. I've been to that Gaza border. You cannot go 10 feet without running into a 19-year-old with an AR-15 or an automatic machine gun that is an IDF soldier. Right? The whole country is surveilled. The whole country is surveilled. And so let me just kind of go through this. We don't talk about Israeli politics very often, and most Americans don't know this. The last 9 months, Israel was on the brink of civil war. It's not an exaggeration. This judicial stuff, there were hundreds of thousands of Israelis taking to the streets because Bibi Netanyahu was basically redefining the Israeli constitution. That's not an exaggeration, right? He said the judicial branch has too much power. There were protests planned this week against Netanyahu, where they anticipated tens of thousands of people to take to the streets. That's all gone, Patrick. Netanyahu now has an emergency government and a mandate to lead. I'm not willing to go so far that saying that Netanyahu knew or there was intelligence here, but I think some questions need to be asked. Was there a stand down order? Was there a stand down order? 6 hours? I don't believe it. Israel's the size of New Jersey. When I took a helicopter ride from Jerusalem to the Gaza border, it's 45 minutes. Wow. 6 hours. They're live streaming the killing of Jews.
Who runs the world?
Who runs the world? Well, the scriptures say that Satan actually runs the world. He is the prince of this world. But currently, there's an oligarchy that's really hard to pinpoint of who's actually calling the shots. And that's really what's happening in this election, is that the presidency is no more. It's really kind of a shadow government of administrative experts that call the shots, that the president is basically just a Hollywood actor or actress that goes around, poses for pictures, produce speeches. They don't actually make any decisions. And so the form and the structure of government, as the founding fathers intended, is no more. The structure of government as they intended was co-equal branches, but the president, not just the presidency, has authority and can sign executive orders and can make decisions and can veto bills. And that individual person has agency. He or she has a team, but that is an individual person. That idea is gone now. We now have rule by committee, rule by group, and it really is a secret society that is governing the country. You must understand, we have Congress, and they're just kind of like a peanut gallery, and then we have a super government that exists above Congress of the Department of Defense, which is the Pentagon, the Central Intelligence Agency, which is its own thing out in Langley, the Federal Bureau of Investigation. They run the country. The intel agencies run the country.
I agree.
People don't run the country. The executive branch doesn't run the country. This is why they hate Trump, because Trump was the first candidate since JFK to actually want to declare war on the intel agencies.
Are you listening to this kid? I know what I'm hearing. Let's get some people around him. You hear how he's talking? We can't have this. Get some people around the old man, too. He's comparing him to JFK. You guys already tried that. We don't need another episode. Enough. Just get people around him.
Take on the intelligence community. They have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you.
All of us against them.
is so biased. He's a total Zionist psychopath.
It's almost like the allegiance to the other country is more than the United States.
Oh,
I can't
yeah.
stand that.
Charlie Kirk is playing up anti-Semitic tropes.
He was accused of critiquing Israel's actions in Gaza during this summit.
Charlie Kirk is supposed to be a Christian conservative.
This is just an excuse to spout anti-Semitism.
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 I think there are a lot of people who are becoming more anti-Semitic because they want to be a part of something and then just get sucked in.
You believe Israel is sacred while simultaneously saying we should stop involving.
Maybe Mossad was a part of things that we don't know about. Reminds me of the CIA.
I don't think that is how an ally treats an ally.
I'm told that if I criticize AIPAC, I'm anti-Semitic.
If you're going to say I hate Jews over and over and over again, if I'm going to be convicted of the crime, I might as well do the crime.
Well, I think they got to make this right. I mean, we as the American people deserve to have every Epstein file released with no redactions whatsoever, period. Correct. And we, the American people, ran on transparency. We deserve to see the entire client list. Yeah. Every document the government has regarding the Epstein files, we, the American people, should have on an easy-to-access website immediately in a very, very quick fashion. I'm pushing for that both privately and publicly, just so you know.
This kid was saying this in February. This hasn't been published till August. He's pushing on the intelligence community. All of us. The Epstein files, really? Is one of those guys that put that stuff out with the Near Intelligence app? Is one of them talking to him? I want to know who put that out there. Wired is looking at the data. Did someone get it from the author? Nah. This stuff's got to stop. We can't have this.
However, if you watch carefully and closely, amongst the Washington, D.C. and neoconservative, neo-imperialist class, especially in the Republican Party, they've kind of shifted gears here. They've shifted gears from Iran should not have a nuclear weapon to Iran should not have an Ayatollah. And they've tried to ever so subtly shift the Overton window as if we weren't paying attention. So wait a second, hold on. First it was that Israel is going to take out the nuclear weapon. And then it was, well, America is going to help Israel take out the nuclear weapon. Still the same theme, but a shift, but still the same theme. One that is defensible if done correctly and prudently. I have some caution towards that intervention, but I can get it. I can get behind that if President Trump executes in a way that only he can. But hold on a second. They're trying to pull a switcheroo. Yesterday afternoon, the neocons that have been wrong about every major foreign policy decision of the last 20 years. They were wrong about Afghanistan. They were wrong about Iraq. They were wrong about Libya. They were wrong about Syria. They were wrong about the Arab Spring. The entire Middle East is filled. It is at capacity with their failures. You cannot point to a random Middle East country without seeing somewhere that John Bolton, Lindsey Graham, and the entire gang of ferocious neoconservatives have messed up. Western forced central planning regime change, as if we are just going to take out the Ayatollah. Oh, really? What comes next? What comes after regime change? You have the people that redesign the entire Middle East in their image. Meanwhile, our country is collapsing. Let's play first 342. This is Lindsey Graham. He lives for this, by the way. Lindsey Graham's identity, his reason for being, his excitement, his thrill is to try and execute regime change in Iran. Play cut 342.
I hope it's eliminated. I would like to see this regime fall, but I'm going to leave it up to the president as to what to do and when to do it. But I do know this. If we don't take out their nuclear program now, we'll all regret it. We're very close. Be all in, Mr. President, in helping Israel finish the job, and let's see where we're at after we neutralize their nuclear program.
Now he continues on cut 343, which is the real incriminating one. I would like to see this regime fall. He says that, but he continues. Play cut 343.
Here's what I can say. Taking the Ayatollah's regime down is a good thing, not a bad thing. And I'm willing to risk what happens next because I know what's going to happen if they stay in power. They're going to keep trying to destroy Israel. They're going to keep fomenting terrorism, and they're going to try to build a bomb, and they'll use it until they're gone. Their goal is a religious goal, to destroy the Jews, to destroy Sunni Islam, to destroy us. These are fanatical religious Nazis. I'm willing to risk them leaving. I think it will only get better.
Sounds good, right? That is such an immature, shallow, sloppy, irresponsible, insane, frenetic approach from a U.S. lawmaker. Oh, I know what happens when they remain. Actually, you don't know that, Lindsey Graham. The first rule of foreign policy is you must enter things with humility. That is the first rule. You don't know how things are going to work out, actually. You could predict them. You could have probability. You could look to history, but you don't know with certainty. And that kind of arrogance and that kind of pride is exactly why we got into the quagmire of Iraq and Afghanistan, and why Libya is still in a civil war, and why 600,000 people died in the Syrian civil war, resulting in 6 million refugees, largely remaking the polity and the entire demographic composition of Europe, because we thought we knew. No, you don't know, actually.
Within 6 months, we've got to roll into Iran. We can't have this guy leading a hippie movement to stop it. Time's up. Let's go with the other thing.
So the day before, actually, I had booked an interview for him that he was not super pleased that I booked for him, but there was a good reason for doing it. But he was like, you know what? I'm tired now, and I want to focus on the tour tomorrow.
A claim I receive often, and we're starting our campus tour tomorrow, is that Israel is committing genocide. How do you respond to that, Ben?
There's literally no definition of genocide by which Israel is committing a genocide.
There is an incessant campaign, and one thing a friend sent to me, interestingly, which is, okay, Charlie, we've pushed back against the media on COVID, on lockdowns, on Ukraine, on the border, it's like, maybe we should also ask a question. Is the media totally presenting the truth when it comes to Israel? Just a question, that maybe we shouldn't believe everything the media says, because I know I've been conditioned to ask a lot more critical questions over the last couple of years. One of the hardest things for an entrepreneur, and we have not done this successfully yet, is separating the brand from the founder. It's very, very hard.
USA, 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 USA,
That's a lot of people, Utah, I'll tell you what. All right, we're going to get started, everybody. You know how it works. Question and answer. Also, thank you to Lane from YRV5. That was great. Really appreciate it. And we're going to be here for a couple hours. Get comfortable. Bring the best libs that Utah has to offer.
All right, that's accomplished. The money's flowing again. I think they'll be distracted. The guy running around with the hospitals, that was crazy. Someone needs to get a hold of that. Everything's been taken care of. This is going to be fine.
This movement is not about Republican or Democrat. This movement is not about conservative or liberal. This movement is about the citizens versus the oligarchs. This movement is about we the people versus the ruling class. This movement is about America versus the globalists. This movement is about all of us against them.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe.